Welcome to this scheduled council meeting of the 17th of March 2026, which is being held in person in the council chamber at Civic Centre 25 Ferris Boulevard, South Morang. The meeting is also being live streamed. I am Councillor Laurie Cox, the Mayor of the City of Whittlesea, and I'd like to introduce our councillors in attendance tonight. Deputy Mayor and Councillor Blair Corwell, Councillor Daniela Zinni, Councillor David Lenberg, Councillor Michael Labrador, Councillor Aidan McLinden, Councillor Jared Lappin, Councillor Martin Taylor and Councillor Christine Stowe. We have apologies from Councillor Deb Gunn, and I'd also like to introduce our Chief Executive Officer Craig Lloyd and ask that Craig introduce the members of the Executive Leadership Team.
Thank you, Chair. Tonight we have with us our Director of Planning and Development, Emma Appleton, our Director of Customer and Corporate Services, Sarah Renner, Director of Infrastructure and Environment, Debbie Wood, the Executive Manager of Public Affairs, Janine Morgan, and at the table here, the Executive Manager of Office of Council and CEO, Jacinta Stevens. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. On behalf of Council, I recognise the rich Aboriginal heritage of this country and acknowledge the Wurundjeri Willem clan and the Taungurung people as the traditional owners of lands within the City of Whittlesea. I'd also like to personally acknowledge Elders past, present and emerging. And I'll now read our Diversity and Good Governance Statement. At the City of Whittlesea, we are proud of our diversity and the many cultures, faiths and beliefs that make up our community. We strive to be an inclusive, welcoming city that fosters active participation, well-being and connection to each other and this land. We commit as a council to making informed decisions to benefit the people of the City of Whittlesea now and into the future to support our community's vision of a place for all. I'll move to acknowledgements and I'll call on Councillor Lappin.
Thank you, Chair. On behalf of Council and the community, I wish to offer our sincere condolences to the family and friends of Aidan Becker, who died at Myrna train station on the 6th of March. This loss has been felt deeply by many across our community. Aidan's actions were brave and selfless, and that courage will be remembered. Incidents like this not only affect those who are directly involved, but also the wider community who are trying to process what has happened. There is no place for violence in our community. At times like this, it's important that we support one another and look out for those who may be struggling. And we thank our first responders and the work of Victoria Police as they continue their investigation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Lappin. I'm pleased to congratulate Emma Fascini and Gabriel Sharman, who were elected to lead the City of Whittlesea's Youth Council for the next 12 months as the Youth Mayor and the Deputy Youth Mayor. The Youth Council are a passionate group of young people who meet monthly and provide feedback on matters referred to them from Council, as well as advocate on important issues, challenges and opportunities for young people. We wish Emma and Gabriel and all the best for their role and look forward to working closely with the Youth Council over the next 12 months. At the Community Festival on Sunday, it was my pleasure to announce the recipients of the 2025 City of Whittlesea Community Awards. We received a high number of nominations, testament to the amazing work being done right across our community by people going above and beyond. A big thanks to our Community Awards Committee for their work in assessing all the nominations. Congratulations specifically to our award recipients, Dr. Swata Sharma, Citizen of the Year, Mr. Barry Stewart, Senior Citizen of the Year, Mia Llewellyn, the Young Citizen of the Year, Ahmed Abumes, Access and Inclusion Citizen of the Year, Liz Buckley, the Sustainable Environment Citizen of the Year. I thank those people for their outstanding contribution to our community, and I thank the Youth Mayor for also participating in the presentation on stage on Sunday. I'll now call upon Councillor Stowe.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. On March the 8th, we acknowledged and celebrated International Women's Day. International Women's Day is an opportunity for us to celebrate the resilience, strength and spirit of women from all walks of life and honour their achievements, contribution and invaluable presence in both the City of Whittlesea and the broader community.
Thank you, Councillor Stowe. Councillor Call.
Thank you, Chair. Next week, we are looking forward to celebrating Cultural Diversity Week and Harmony Day. The City of Whittlesea is proud to be one of the most culturally diverse municipalities in Australia. In 2026's theme, Culture Connects Us All, highlights how culture brings people together and encourages us to celebrate our own cultural stories and learn about the cultures of others. There are several local events to celebrate the week and to showcase stories, performances, art, music, cultural clothing and delicious cuisines. Visit Council's website for further details.
Thank you. There are all the acknowledgements. Councillors and officers, if you have a conflict of interest in any item on the agenda, you may verbally disclose the type and nature of the interest now, but you must also make a declaration immediately before consideration of the matter in question. Councillors, are there any items for which you have a conflict of interest to declare?
No, Chair.
Thank you. Officers, are there any items for which you have a conflict of interest to declare?
No, Chair.
No, Chair.
Okay. We'll move to the confirmation of the minutes, and I seek a motion to confirm the minutes of the preceding scheduled meeting held on the 17th of February and the unscheduled meeting held on the 24th of February 2026. Do I have a mover? Thank you. And the mover is moving what?
Yes, I'd like to move the recommendation.
Thank you. And the seconder, Councillor Taylor. I'll now put the matter to a vote. All of those in favour of confirming the minutes, please raise your right hand. And it's carried unanimously. Okay, public question time. Council allows up to 30 minutes for public questions, petitions or joint letters from our community. Public questions will be read out by the CEO's delegate and responded to by the CEO. Any questions submitted that are not in accordance with the governance rules are either declined or held over to the next scheduled council meeting. All questions and responses will be included in the minutes of the council meeting. I note we have received several public questions. In accordance with the governance rules, no introductory or background statements in relation to the question will be read out. I'll now hand over to Jacinta Stevens, the Executive Manager of Office of Council and the CEO, to read the question, and Craig Lloyd, the CEO, will provide the response.
Thank you, Chair. Our first question is from Rachel Rafferty. The question is, will the Whittlesea councillors and the CEO commit to increasing funding for HACC for people who are being left behind?
Thank you for the question. The Home and Community Care Program for Younger People, or HACC-PYP, provides support services to people under 65 years of age who have a disability, chronic illness or other health-related support needs. The program aims to help individuals live safely and independently in their homes and communities by providing services such as domestic assistance. The program is funded by the Victorian Government through the Department of Health. The City of Whittlesea receives funding from the Victorian Government to deliver these services locally on its behalf. However, Council does not have the ability to increase the overall funding available, as funding levels and program eligibility are determined by the Victorian Government. Thank you.
Our next question is from Justin Mastroianni. The question is, given the documented spot fires on February 27th and the FRV's confirmed inability to compel action, will Council, as Chair of the Municipal Emergency Management Planning Committee, now exercise its authority to hold the Department of Transport to its mandatory fire prevention duty under Section 43 of the CFA Act to clear the hazardous 1,000 millimetre fuel loads along the Gallida-Tamboree pathway.
Again, thank you, Justin, for the question. The land concerned is under the management and ownership of the Victorian State Government's Department of Transport and Planning, or DTP. In accordance with the Road Management Act, DTP own and are legally responsible for its maintenance. Appropriate maintenance of this land has been raised by the CFA and the Municipal Fire Prevention Officer Forum, and the CFA are taking the lead in addressing this matter directly with the Department of Transport and Planning. Council considers CFA management of the matter as the most appropriate approach. Additionally, council officers have escalated their concerns by writing directly to the local members of Parliament, the Minister for Roads and the Executive Director for our region at the Department of Transport seeking urgent action. More broadly, council has been continually advocating to the state to increase the maintenance of DTP-owned assets for several years alongside other Victorian councils.
Our next question is from Daniel Meisner. The question is there any plans to develop the open space area that was being used as part of the staging area on the corner of Epping Road and Craigieburn East Road?
Thank you, Daniel, for your question. The land located on the southwest corner of Craigieburn Road and Epping Road in Wollert is owned by the City of Whittlesea. The site is currently being used as a site compound by a state government roads contractor for the Epping Road upgrade. The land is subject to the Epping North East Development Plan, which has identified it for future active open space. The site has been identified for a preparation of a future master plan.
And our last question, we had two residents have like questions that we've combined together. That's from Rodney Cummings and Julie Ahmad. The question is, will Council be lodging a submission to the parliamentary inquiry regarding the development of waste incinerators in Victoria?
Thank you, Rodney and Julie, for your questions. Yes, council officers will be lodging a submission to the inquiry in due course, aligned to the endorsed council policies and strategies. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to 4.2 petitions. An electronic petition has been received from 154 residents and 450 non-residents requesting council install a supervised school crossing on McLean's Road, Bundoora, directly in front of the Northside Christian College. Councillor, do I have a resolution? Motion. Thanks, Councillor Zinni.
Yes, I'd like to move this officer recommendation.
Thank you. Seconder. Councillor Labrador. Councillor Zinni, do you wish to talk to it?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Chair. This petition is for the push for a reinstatement of a school crossing that was discontinued back in 2012. Things have changed in 15 years. School enrolments are higher and more pedestrians are crossing McLean's Road to access the Bundoora Square and tram stops along Plenty Road. So Northside Christian College school community really do need this crossing as soon as possible, and they deserve to be heard and action taken on this. They've had so much engagement with the community of Bundoora, especially in a disadvantaged community, working with Encompass Care over the years. So I really do believe that this school community needs to be heard. Parents are currently forced to drive their children to school because it is too dangerous for them to walk. Council cannot gauge the true need of this crossing by counting pedestrians, if the lack of the crossing is what prevents them from walking in the first place. The community petition has 604 signatures, and this should be really considered by council. I will make this a community need. My priority through the Bundoora Place framework, and work with the community to have this crossing reinstated as per Vic Roads requirements. I'd like to thank Adrian, who's here today, for starting this community engagement, and I would like to thank the 604 people who have signed this important need for our children and overall community. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Labrador is the seconder. Do you wish to speak?
Point of order, Mr Mayor.
Yes.
Are we allowed to ask questions about this?
Oh, sorry. It's... Sorry? Yeah, if you can ask clarification.
Yeah, through you, Mr Mayor, I'd like some clarification. How do the children cross the road now? Is there absolutely no crossing in that road?
No, there's no crossing. There's the crossing infrastructure's there, but it was taken away.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Labrador, as the seconder, you wish to speak?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to, echo what Councillor Zinni had said and thank the 604 people that signed the petition. As someone who regularly walks down Maclean's Road, it is quite scary to walk down and try to cross. I can't imagine parents, who are wrangling, one or three or, multiple kids, trying to get them to school safe and on time. So I definitely, thank all the people that signed and brought the petition, and we're hoping to see some action on this. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other speakers? Councillor
No, I
Stone?
had nothing further, but I'm just a bit stunned that there's no crossing there for the children now.
No other speakers? The recommendation appears on the screen. I'll ask you to vote. All those in favour of the recommendation, raise your hand, please. It's carried unanimously. Move to 4.2.2. It's a petition also. Petition's been received from 81 residents and 24 non-residents requesting council consider the development of a skate park at Norris Bank Reserve, Bundoora. I'll ask for a mover of a resolution. Councillor Caldwell, seconder. Councillor McLinden. And you're moving the officer's recommendation?
Yes, that's correct, Chair.
Thank you. Need to clarify that. Do you wish to speak, Councillor Caldwell?
Look, very briefly, obviously active recreation is an important part of developing and growing up as a young person. I know skate parks are the quintessential piece of infrastructure that at least adults assume that young people like. I know it's far more broader than that, but there is a cohort of young people that very much enjoy skating and participating in skate parks. So, look, I'll be looking forward to, obviously the motion is to note the petition and to refer it to the finance to have some further reporting back to councillors, and we'll consider that in due course. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor McLinden, is the seconder?
Thank you, Chair. I think skate park's the bread and butter of local council. I think the more of them that we have, the better. Get the kids out from the TVs and video games, turn the Wi-Fi off, get them bruising up and meeting people around the streets. I think that's what we're here for. So I echo what the Deputy Mayor's got to say, but I'll certainly be guided by the relevant ward councillor and make sure the trees, etc., the location's the right place. So that, but I'm all for this. The more the merrier. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Lundberg.
Thank you, Chair. I have a skate park just down the road from me, and it is well frequented by all ages, including parents who seem to be more battered and bruised than the children when they give it a go. Part of what I would love to see is further activation of these sites, and I've brought up with council running something like a Red Bull competition to give people the opportunity to have a competition against each other. So to have another skate park in the municipality would be a great thing for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Zinni.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to thank the 105 people who have signed this petition. Aidan, who is the one that is the petitioner, really tried when he engaged with me to get as much interest involved with the skate park and the community of youth that are down in the Bundoora area. I know we are kind of bordering other councils, and sometimes we find it's just that the children and the youth in the area cannot really get up to places like Epping and the new one that's in Donnybrook, the new skate park in Donnybrook. So just considering it through the finance team, if we can get this up and running for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Other speakers? Being none, I'll put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. And it's carried unanimously. The 4.3, there's no joint letters. We now move to consideration of the officers' reports. In item 5.1, Introducing the item will be Sarah Renner, the Director of Customer and Corporate Services.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, councillors. I would like to invite Rahul, our Unit Manager, Financial Strategy and Performance, to introduce the paper.
Thank you, Sarah, and good evening, Council. The purpose of this report is to present the quarterly corporate performance report for the period ended 31st December 2025, which covers the Community Action Plan, good governance, capital works performance, and the financial performance. Starting from Community Action Plan, there are 46 targeted actions to be delivered in the current financial year. Out of 46 actions, 8 actions have been completed, 37 reported on track, and 1 action being monitored. From a good governance perspective, Council amended and adopted updated governance rules following community consultation, supporting transparent and effective decision-making. Moving to Capital Works Program, capital expenditure stands at 34.8 million compared to the year-to-date budget of 39.1 million, reflecting a variance of 4.3 million behind the budget. The delivery of some projects within this period have experienced delays due to sequencing of construction works prior to Christmas New Year shutdown period, latent site conditions, delay in design phase, and resource constraints. As a result, forecast for the year ending 30th June 2026 anticipates total capital expenditure of 95.5 million, which is estimated 26.1 million in project value to be carried over into 2026-27 financial year. Turning to financial performance, as at 31st December 2025, Council recorded an operating surplus of 218.6 million, which is 21.3 million favorable to the year-to-date budget. This is due to higher than anticipated non-monetary contributions received, resulting from developments reaching practical completions across the municipality. The forecast for the year ending 30 June 2026 anticipates an operating surplus of 147.7 million, which is $4.8 million unfavorable to the adopted budget. Finally, I would like to highlight that Council's operating surplus is an accounting result only and does not constitute excess cash available for Council to spend. It is largely made up of either non-cash items such as contributions from developers or cash items that are restricted by legislation in how they can be used in future by Council. I propose the recommendations as outlined in the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions from councillors? Being none, do I have a motion for item 5.1? Thank you, officers, for presentation. Do I have a motion? Moved Councillor Labrador, seconded the officer's recommendation, I take it?
Yes, I'd like to move the officer's recommendation.
Thank
Chair.
you. And Councillor Lappin seconding. Do you wish to speak to the motion, Councillor Labrador?
No, Chair.
Councillor Lappin is the seconder.
Just briefly, Chair, I think this report really reflects the good work which Council has been doing. Just going through it, it's obviously got our capital works program in there, which looks fantastic. So I just really want to acknowledge the officers and their work in getting this up to scratch for us, and it looks fantastic. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor McLendon.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. A lot of work goes into these documents, and I thank the Director and Rahul for their presentation and the team of staff behind them. Often, a lot of the work can go unseen and unnoticed, and I think what we're seeing in the report is that we are on track, on target. Obviously, the community connections is always a bit of a struggle, and that I don't think that's symptomatic of councils right across Australia, if not Victoria, because it's very hard to get the community involved, but we are doing our best, and quite often, particularly in the youth space, I know that we get quite a lot of feedback there, so I think we can take a leaf out of some of the department's books and try and engage with the community. But I do encourage the community as much as possible to get involved where and when you can. I know life gets busy and can get carried away, but everybody's responsible for shaping their future, and we're just one voice of many people in the city. So I do encourage the community to get even more connected than we currently are. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Being none, I'll put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. It's carried unanimously. Okay, item 5.2, the 2025-26 Quarter 2 Community Grants. I'll now hand over to the Director of Customer and Corporate Services, Sarah Renner, and Adrian.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening again, Council. I would like to introduce Adrian, our Manager, EPMO and Change, to introduce the paper.
Thank you, Sarah. And good evening, Mayor and Councillors. I present to you tonight the Community Grants Report for Quarter 2 for the financial year 25-26. It's been a very busy quarter, seeing 113 grant applications received across our all-year community grants and council-driven grants, with 82 of these being funded, totalling $351,951. The full list of approved grants from this quarter can be found in the attachment, but some notable grants being approved include the Doreen RSL sub-branch for 2026 Anzac Day dawn service. This dawn service in Doreen continues to grow annually, with approximately 400 people now attending. The grant supports organisers to install large outdoor display screens at the event to improve visibility, accessibility, and participation for all that attend. This quarter also saw a total of 75 seniors clubs applying for the 25-26 senior club grants, which is a great uptake from the approximately 80 known senior clubs operating across the municipality. And again, a full list of successful applicants is listed in attachment 1 of the report. Round 1 of the business-to-business grant program also commenced with offers up to $10,000 per individual application through 2 streams for businesses to choose from. Stream 1, Business Improvement and Innovation, and Stream 2, Elevating Your Business. The main purpose of the business-to-business grant program is to support existing businesses to procure local products and services from a list of approved local vendors to encourage business-to-business interaction and transactions. A second round of business-to-business grants is currently open and closes the 30th of April. I present this report and recommend that Council note the 25-26 Q2 Community Grant Program Summary at Attachment 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions? Councillor Stowe.
Just looking at the grant recipients here, and I noticed that there's a couple of repetitive double, they're the same.
Multiple applications.
Yeah, multiple for different. I'm just wondering if we should be funding 2 of the same thing, if they're the Macedonian this and the Macedonian that. I'm just wondering if we should be streamlining our grants to make sure that we're not doubling up and having 2 separate entities running side by side.
Thank you for the question. We often find that some of these groups operate at different parts of the municipality, so we might have some groups operating obviously in the north and through Whittlesea Township, and other groups of a similar name operating in the southern parts of the municipality, Lalor, Thomastown, Mill Park.
Thank you.
Sorry, point of clarification. So just to reiterate that I understood that correctly, you're saying that these are all separate entities, just with similar names?
Correct, thank you. They are all separate entities. They all have their own individual registrations. They may have similar names, but operating at different areas across the municipality.
Thank you. Any other questions? I just have one. I think I heard you say 400 people at the dawn service. It's actually probably closer to 4,000. That was all. If there's no other questions, I'll ask for a motion. Thank you to the officers for the report. Councillor Corwell's moving. Moving. What are you moving?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to move the officer's recommendation as the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McLinden.
So seconded.
Seconding. Thank you. Councillor Corwell, do you wish to speak?
Yes, please, Chair. Can I start by thanking the officers for their presentation and indeed the work that they've done in assessing the grants and providing the grants program. The Community Grants Program plays an important role in us achieving our mission of Whittlesea being a place for all, and this quarter's grants reflect this through the richness and diversity of the grant recipients. Totaling 82 grant recipients, They range from supporting support for businesses to innovate and grow, supporting the Doreen RSL to deliver the Dawn service, which pays respect and homage to our returned servicemen and those that unfortunately paid the ultimate sacrifice. Older adults and senior citizens clubs, which enrich the lives of our ageing community and opportunities to connect with each other. Grant supporting athletes to compete at the elite level, and support for youth associations. In total, the City of Whittlesea has invested almost $352,000 in grants this quarter, contributing to the social capital of our community and the experience of countless residents. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Call. Councillor McLinden is the seconder.
Thanks, Chair. I just wanted to highlight the importance of the business-to-business grants and the up to $10,000 available for small businesses. It's my opinion that small business is the backbone of any strong local community, and I think that many businesses need to be aware of this as well, especially for next year when they apply. In one of my economics classes last week, we actually, just to give one example of how small business is struggling, the average Australian cafe has to turn over about $450,000 in order to profit $58,000. So for every $5 that goes over the counter, they profit $1. So you can imagine with the cost of living crisis and the increase in pricing, left, right and centre, small businesses have copped a smacking the last 5 years. But there's a very worthy grant, and I really hope those recipients make the most of it and welcome all small businesses to apply next year, and we hope that that can potentially expand as well. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Other speakers? See none. I'll put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Carried unanimously. Item 5.3, the Youth Hub business case, and I will now hand over to Emma Appleton, who's standing in for Agata Shimileski, who's ill.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, councillors. This report presents for councillors' consideration the completed business case which assesses the proposed sites for the Youth Hub within the City of Whittlesea. I'll now hand over to Stephen, Manager of Community Strengthening, who will take council through the business case findings, including the additional youth engagement undertaken and the identified preferred site.
Thank you, Emma, and good evening, Mayor and Council. At the December 2025 Council meeting, Council resolved to endorse the development of a business case to assess sites for a youth hub, including potential sites in South Morang and Epping. A business case has since been completed, assessing 4 sites, including option 1, Shop 111, Pacific Epping Shopping Centre, an interim option. Option 2, 72 Cooper Street, Epping, another interim option. Option 3A, Civic Centre North, or north of the site in South Morang, near the Plenty Ranges Art and Convention Centre, or PRAC precinct, which would be a permanent option. And then option 3B, Civic Centre South Side in South Morang, near the main vehicle entry access, another permanent option. As part of the business case, additional community consultation was undertaken, led by our skilled youth development team with over 160 youth, including former and current Youth Council members, original Youth Hub feasibility study participants, and young people involved in City of Whittlesea's youth development programs. This is in addition to the 2,066 community members previously consulted with, predominantly youth. The business case has identified option 3B, Civic Centre Southside in South Morang, as the preferred site for the future youth hub, as it offers permanent tenure, strong activation potential, close proximity to public transport, services and youth-friendly spaces, clear alignment with youth voice, and situated in a prominent location. The site opportunities make option 3B the most appropriate and future-focused option for Council to deliver a safe, visible and youth-led hub for the municipality. Office's recommendation is that Council resolve to approve option 3B as the preferred site for the development of a youth hub.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Stowe?
In terms of a feasibility study, I can't see anything that says like a return on investment or what the costs of leaving the youth at the moment. Was that undertaken in this feasibility study? Did I miss it?
So in the original feasibility study, which is included in the documents, it does talk about in terms of the cost of not proceeding with a youth hub and the impact in terms of the social implications cost, while the business case focused purely on the assessment of the sites.
Thank you.
Other questions? Councillor Labrador?
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to note, in the December 2025 meeting, we had resolved, particularly for our advocacy piece, to push for a dollar-for-dollar investment. I was just wondering, would that potentially be captured in item 3 of the recommendation, or would we potentially need to change the wording just so that it's consistent between December and now? Thank you.
Yes, look, completely open to that, to keep it consistent and continue on. That's completely, and that would be in line with our advocacy prospectus as well.
Thank you.
Other questions? Being none, do I have a motion? Councillor Lenberg? Thanks to the officers for the presentation. Thank you. Councillor Lenberg, I did hear you say officers' recommendation, even though your microphone wasn't turned on.
Would you like me to say it again with the microphone on?
Yes, away you go.
I would like to move the officer's recommendation as displayed on the screen. Thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Lee. Seconder. Councillor McLinden.
So seconded.
Councillor Lenberg, do you wish to speak?
Yes, thank you. I think that this is an amazing report on the Youth Hub, and it is exactly what Council fed back to the executives. It's very important that we do build this Youth Hub, but I would like to also make sure that Lily and Bronwyn get their hands deep in their pockets, because obviously it's gone up from, I think we're looking at 4 million, it's up to around 6 million. $500,000 isn't going to cut it. So although we're very thankful for that 500,000 and we'll take it, if you can add another 2 million, that would be very beneficial. Thank you.
Sorry, Councillor Lenberg, can you just clarify when you say Lily and Bronwyn? Could you actually say it for the record as to who you're referring to?
Yes, Bronwyn Bishop and Lily D'Ambrosio.
Point of order, Chair.
Sorry, Bronwyn. Look, you put me on the spot now, halfpenny.
I think we should accept that from Ambition.
There was no helicopters.
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
No, you're referring to Bronwyn Halfpenny, the member for Thomastown, and Lillian
and Lily D'Ambrosio. Yes.
Lily D'Ambrosio, member for Mill Park.
Yes.
I think it's important for the record to
absolutely
make that point. Sorry, the seconder was Councillor McLinden. You wish to speak?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. This always excites me when we do things for the youth. It's, as I said earlier, part of the bread and butter of local government. This is exciting research that has been undertaken by the Director and Stephen and the team. If the youth development team do nothing else this year, they've achieved more than enough, although the CEO, I'm sure, will keep them working on another project. These options that were put before us, I think is the most sensible one going forward. It's an asset, not a liability, and I do believe that down the track we will be forever grateful that we did that. But I do also echo the point that we do need to continue to lobby the state government because, as they say, the idle time is linked to crime, and we have seen an increase that across the state, a little bit locally, but I think we do need to really get the state to dig deep as well, so that we can make sure that this is a huge success, as I'm sure it will be. And yeah, look forward to it opening, and everybody's welcome, even if Bronwyn Bishop does decide to visit. She'll come on in. There's enough space for her to land behind it.
Other speakers, Councillor Caldwell first.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And just to reassure my colleague at the end of the table, I had a rather embarrassing situation on Friday night when I was introduced to Lauren Cathergy and completely misread the situation, and in the introduction I was like, oh yeah, I think you're from the CA or something like that. So it was, I can understand the situation where you catch yourself out with names and those sorts of things. And indeed, you may recall, yes, Lily D'Ambrosio had her own situation where we're at the Whittlesea Chinese Association celebrating Chinese New Year. So you're not alone in that space. But I want to make the point, in speaking to this issue. When we think of young people, we often view them as from a deficit perspective, participating in antisocial behaviour, having mental health issues, disengaged from education, employment, hanging around shopping centres, causing nuisances, those sorts of things. But as a community, parents, teachers, professionals and indeed counsellors, we know the vast majority of young people enhance our community and make a meaningful contribution. Local government is unique in the provision of youth services at the prevention, early intervention end of the spectrum. It is a universal service in that it is responsive to the needs of all young people, empowering them to be full members of our community, building resilience and developing the necessary skills to navigate an ever-evolving future. Youth centres are an important hub in the provision of our youth centre model, youth services model, both meeting the needs of both meeting young people where they are and providing the physical infrastructure necessary for the services. I wholeheartedly support the important work of youth services and the proposal of a new youth centre, and indeed the location that we've landed on being option 3B. I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to our municipality, and hopefully we can see some ground broken in that area and partnership with our state level colleagues. Thank you very much.
Councillor Labrador.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to apologise to the governance team. I'd like to move an amendment just to item 3 for the wording. It would say, note officers will continue advocating to the Victorian Government on behalf of Council for external dollar for dollar funding to support the delivery of the Youth Hub. Thank you, Chair.
You need to have that in writing. You need to write that out. Yep.
So just for point of clarification, will you be ruling that out of order as a amendment as it stands?
No, not currently, because it's additional wording. It's not opposite to the intent of the clause.
Can I ask a question?
Clarification, yes.
Clarification. So if we're changing the wording to dollar for dollar, what if the Victorian Government gives us 100% of the funding?
Sorry, is that a clarification or a... Sorry. Let's just get one step at a time. We'll get the wording right. Is that, Councillor Labrador, is that on the screen what you are seeking? Okay, is there a seconder for that? Sorry. Oh, yeah. Does Councillor Lemberg accept the amendment? Sorry?
I actually don't think it's necessary based on our current advocacy, so no.
Okay, that's fine. So there's no acceptance, so I need now call for a seconder for the amendment.
I'm not supporting it, but I'll second it in the interest of making sure that we clear and everyone's had their say.
Okay. Okay, Councillor Labrador, do you wish to speak to the... Sorry.
I might
just bear with us for a minute.
Point of clarification.
My apologies, Councillor McLindon, you seconded the original motion, so therefore I can't accept the
that's okay.
amendment. My apologies.
Rejection accepted.
Rejection accepted. Anybody else wish to second the amendment? Councillor Taylor, thank you. Sorry, now Councillor Labrador, my apologies, I've got...
I actually just have a question of clarification. Would us resolving, voting on the original motion supersede our vote in December 2025? Because in December, no.
No, this is a motion
Yep.
for tonight's meeting arising from the report, and it deals with the particular issue. Whilst there was a motion in December that's been acted upon, dealt with, this is a new motion. Okay? So, do you wish to speak to the amendment?
Could I withdraw the amendment?
You wish to withdraw? Okay. So, who was seconded? Taylor? You happy with the withdrawal? Thank you. Right, we'll go back to the original motion. Please take the red wording out. Thank you. So we're back at the original motion. I've had... Sorry. Councillor Lindbergh spoken, Councillor McLinden spoken. Councillor Corwell's spoken. Councillor Labrador, do you wish... you have. Yeah, no, you spoke to it. No, you spoke. Yeah. Thank you. Hang on. Before we go any further, Councillor Labrador, do you actually wish to, because you went to move an amendment, do you wish to speak to the actual motion?
No, Chair.
Thank you. Throwing us complete pandemonium. Okay, other speakers? Councillor Zinni?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to congratulate the youth development team and overall council officers on this particular business case. It has been a very hard research process over the last couple of years. A feasibility study was actually conducted, and so there has been a lot of research and a lot of engagement with the youth. There's probably about 1,000 youth that have helped us decide on this particular location. And I just want to reassure the community that we have had quite a lot of deliberations on this decision, and the fact that the option 3B actually is just outside here at Civic Centre, so it's in a fantastic location. It's got the environment and the connection to transport, which is very important to our youth. I also want to actually let the community know that in recent times we've had really horrible perceptions of our youth, and I just want to make people understand that our youth are amazing, and our youth council in particular are fantastic, and we just want to congratulate again the youth council that has been appointed for the next 2 years, and I'm sure they'll be heavily involved in the development of this particular business case. And I just want to also just to reiterate that the state government should really be helping us out here in the northern suburbs, especially because we have such a huge growth corridor and a lot of youth, especially in the Doreen, Epping, Mernda areas. So I do really want to advocate and reach out to the state members of Parliament, especially our Youth Minister, Natalie Solomon. I'd like for her to maybe come down to this area and see what we are doing here at Council and the amazing youth development team that we have. So thanks again.
Thank you. Other speakers? Councillor Lappin?
Thank you, Chair. I think my sentiments will reflect this room pretty well. But I just wanted to commend the officers for their incredible work in getting this project ready and gathering the feedback from young people and the community especially, and then finding those suitable locations. Obviously, it was a bit of a back and forth to find that right location, and I think we've landed on a really good spot. I think with this site in particular, the overall cost of the project on this site is a bit higher than other locations, but I think the advantages are really there, especially the closeness to public transport, the high visibility, the closeness to the shops and already activated spaces, plus the outdoor space. And then it gives us that option to expand it or change it up as we need to. So, and also the fact that it's not a lease site, so there's not that kind of worry, I guess, of it investing in a site and then us losing it in 5-10 years and being back to where we are now. So I think the site is a really inspired choice, and I think it's a fantastic decision there. And I just wanted to also just sort of echo Councillor Zinni's points. I think the perception of youth, I think they are sometimes used as a scapegoat for certain political decisions. And I think we shouldn't look at our youth services as being purely as a preventative measure or purely in the interests of other sections of our community. I think it's important to make sure that our youth are looked after and that we're taking their needs and their input seriously and those services are available to them. And I think the benefits of that are felt in the wider community, but I don't think it should be the overall focus. I think the youth need to be our focus when doing these kind of decisions. So yeah, just overall, I think this proposal is fantastic. I think the benefits and opportunities it opens up go beyond just this hub itself, and I think its positive impact will be felt all over. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Other speakers? Not seeing any. I'll put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. It's carried unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to item 5.4, which is the Planning Scheme Amendment C287, Exhibition Outcomes for Heritage Overlay at 1470 Plenty Road, Mernda. And I'll hand over to the Director of Planning and Development, Emma Appleton, to present.
Thank you, Chair. So tonight we're pleased to present Amendment C287, which seeks to amend the Whittlesea Planning Scheme to apply permanent heritage overlay to 1470 Plenty Road, Mernda. The protection of heritage buildings is important to our community as a connection to our city's history. Built in around 1891, the building at 1470 Plenty Road was one of the first substantial houses to be built in the Mernda Township, not long after the railway was constructed to Whittlesea. It was home to the first resident doctor and was later the first Methodist church house in the settlement. The building is of aesthetic significance as a superior example of a late Victorian villa with distinctive detailing. The proposed amendment will provide permanent protection to conserve the heritage building, which is of local aesthetic and historic significance to the City of Whittlesea and valued by the community. I'll now hand over to Taris, our strategic planner, to provide further information.
Thank you, Emma, and good evening, Council. This report relates to Planning Scheme Amendment C287, which proposes to apply a heritage overlay to the house and its curtilage at 1470 Plenty Road, Mernda. The heritage overlay will provide for heritage protection over the house and its surrounds. The overlay will require that proposals for use or development of the land require a planning permit and ensure that they will not significantly impact on the heritage value of the place. At the December 2024 Council meeting, Council resolved to commence the Planning Scheme Amendment process. Amendment C287 was then placed on public exhibition for 6 weeks, from December 2025 to January 2026. Letters were sent to the owner of 1470 Plenty Road, Mernda, and to the prescribed ministers. Notice was also placed in the Northern Star Weekly and the Government Gazette. No submissions were received during exhibition. Therefore, we are in the final Council decision stage of the Planning Scheme Amendment process, where Council must consider the outcomes of exhibition and whether to adopt the amendment. The report recommends that Council note that no submissions were received as a result of the exhibition process, resolve to adopt Amendment C287 to the Whittlesea Planning Scheme, submit the final amendment to the Minister for Planning for approval, and note that Council officers will advise the landowner of Council's resolution.
Thank you. Any questions? Councillor Stowe?
Thank you for that, and I think that this is a really important building. Could you just clarify for me and for the people what the heritage overlay protects the building from? For example, can it be demolished? What would happen? I just want to be clear about what the heritage overlay does for the property.
So the heritage overlay requires that the landowner applies for a planning permit to Council, and then Council would consider the heritage value of the place in considering the planning permit. It could be to demolish the land, or it could be for other types of works.
Thank you.
Yep. Other questions? Being none, do I have a thank you for the officers? Move. Councillor Lappin.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Councillor Taylor, you're seconding. Thank you. Councillor Lappin, if you wish to speak.
Just briefly, Chair, thank you. I think maintaining our historic sites and ensuring they remain available for our community to either view or use is important. The assessment of these sites and the planning which goes into categorising and determining its historic significance is a huge process, and the work that goes into that needs to be acknowledged. I'm glad to see that our heritage in Myrna is being looked after and secured, and I support this motion. Thank you, Chair.
Cool. Councillor Taylor, do you wish to speak? Microphone, please. Sorry.
This particular motion is of concern to our municipality, basically because of the heritage issues that overlay it. I think Council's done a tremendous job in relation to the submission that they've made and the council officers in relation to the reports and briefings that they have presented to council in relation to this issue. I think some of the initial concerns have been well and truly addressed in what has now been put to council, and as a result I wholeheartedly endorse it.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Being none, I'll put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. And it's carried unanimously. Thank you. Pardon me. We move to item 5.5, awarding of a contract variation for curbside garbage, recycling and green waste collection services. I'll now hand over to the Director of Infrastructure and Environment, Debbie Wood, to present the report.
Thank you, Chair. I have with me Simone, our Unit Manager of Resource Recovery, who will take you through the report.
Thank you all. Good evening. We're here today to present the contract extension proposal for the contract 2017-75A, the landfill waste recycling and green organics collection contract. This is Council's primary service contract for the collection of the garbage, recycling and FOGO curbside bins. We are seeking a financial variation to cover the costs of collection for the endorsed contract up until the 30th of June 2028. It is proposed that the contract be varied to suit operational requirements, including the municipal growth over the life of the contract, the rollout of the mandatory food and garden waste service, and ongoing operational service improvements. We will take the report as read, including the officer recommendations, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Not seeing any. Thank you for the report. Do I have a motion? Councillor Lappin.
Thanks, Chair. I'll support the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor McLinden. Councillor Lappin.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to raise a few supportive points regarding this contract renewal, which obviously isn't, it's not the most exciting thing to come to council, but it is very important. So I think, as recommendation, as this says, it says the contract has been exceptional, and they set a high standard, and we, look forward to keep that relationship going. But just regarding the food organics rollout bins, I sort of talk about that and the great impact that it's having on our community, not just at the environmental level, but also at the financial level. I think the 4 waste streams, they can cop a bit of heat from some sections of our community and some online sections of our community. But the results of them and their impact is important. I think the food organics bin is showing the community supports the program. It's already got a higher rate of uptake before it's even being made standard. In the middle of this year, I think it's 59,000 households are already using the FOGO bin. And the data shows that the residents are using the bins correctly. So the green bin is being used correctly, plus the glass bin with a bit of work still to be done on our red and yellow bins. But especially the food organics bin, which showing our community is aware of the positive impact and they want to play their part. Where was I? I've got so many notes, don't worry about it. And just as there are multiple reasons to make our bins used correctly, which is mainly avoiding the excess waste going to landfill, which is getting more expensive, those sites, and ensuring we recycle and develop the circular economy where we can, and reduce any contamination or pollution of waste that could have been recycled. So I think this is a positive step forward, and I support the motion. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor McLinden is the seconder.
Thank you, Chair. I'd just like to reiterate what Councillor Lappin has said. I don't believe in waste, I believe in repurposing. As one of 9 kids, I was number 6, I always got them their hand-me-downs. And on a big day out, we probably went to Vinnie's for my birthday money. So I believe, if we're really prudent with our waste, which is exactly where we're heading, I think a lot of councils will be following suit. This is a fantastic initiative. I implore people to take it up. And I don't think there's much behind the kitchen that could be repurposed in a better use in some way, shape or form. So I wholeheartedly endorse this motion.
Thank you. Other speakers? Being none, I'll put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. It's carried unanimously. Item 5.6 is the governance report. And I'll now hand over to the Executive Manager, Office of Council and CEO to present the report. Jacinta Servants.
Thank you, Chair. This evening, this is quite a small report. We put the governance report up for transparency. It covers two matters. The first is the total cost incurred by Council in relation to the Commission of Inquiry into the Whittlesea City Council. The other one details the unconfirmed summary of minutes from the 24th of February 2026 Audit and Risk Committee meeting. Just as an example of some of the things that the Audit and Risk Committee discussed at their meeting, it related to the quarterly risk management, detailing risk treatment plans for both strategic and operational risks, along with business continuity activities. They looked at a report detailing council cyber security profile. They looked at the corporate performance report, the local government performance reporting framework, including an update on the Q2 and a summary of the changes to the LGPRF. The progress of the 25-26 annual internal audit program, just an example of some of the things that the committee looked at. So all details are contained within the report, and I recommend that councillors move the officer recommendation as the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Stowe.
I'm just wondering, is it possible to pull out individual reports in the audit report? Because there's a lot of different issues coming up in the governance reports, and it's my view that, well, my question is, can they be pulled out?
Just through you, if I can clarify what Councillor Stowe is seeking. Are you seeking that, and as an example, the Audit and Risk Committee summary report is a standalone report in the council meeting agenda, or?
Yes, that's right. There's different matters in this governance report, and we move it all in one block, basically. And I think that in the past it's proved problematic when we can't have a discussion about individual items on the report. In any case, you can proceed with the discussion. And
yeah, no, Councillor Stowe, I take your point. However, there is scope within the governance rules for you to pull an item to one side and have it dealt separately. So I think your comment was probably aimed at a previous report where there was a whole series of items in the report, and I think we've discussed that generally within the structure of the meeting. Unless you see something specific in tonight's report needing to be separated, I'd invite you to move an amendment or...
I would like to see the audit and risk report separated as a separate report.
Sorry? Sorry, are you wanting to do it tonight or for future reports?
I'd like to see it, the reports pulled out individually for future reports for the purposes of tonight. I think it can be left as it is,
Okay.
but going forward, yeah.
No, appreciate your point and thank you for the patience. I just want to clarify that. We'll take that on board in terms of future reports. Other questions?
Just for the point of clarification, and it is, I will phrase it in the form of a question. I do believe that we are simply approving the unconfirmed minutes from the Audit and Risk Committee. That was the previous. It's not so much the Audit and Risk Committee documents, in addition to obviously tabling the amount for the Commission of Inquiry. So just for clarification, that is indeed what we're approving as the motion.
Yeah, tonight's motion is the unconfirmed minutes as part of the resolution or motion. But what Councillor Stowe has asked for future consideration is that they be dealt with as separate items in terms of the report. So that's been taken on board. I thank her for cooperation tonight. Okay, any other questions? None. I'll ask for a mover. Move Councillor Lindbergh.
I'm having a bad night, I don't know. Poor Bronwyn. I'd like to move the officer's recommendation as displayed on the screen.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Lappin. Councillor Lindbergh, do you wish to speak?
Thank you, Chair. Just with regard to the Audit and Risk Committee, we discuss a whole raft of things, as you can see, but I think that one thing that's very clear is that the matrix that we use to be able to look at the risks and the change in the risk profile is looked at every single time. I think that the council officers do a great job of alerting us to anything that might be coming up. An example is artificial intelligence and how that might affect the organisation. So rest assured, Councillor Taylor and myself, as part of the Audit Committee, are very aware of what is happening and the risks associated with the running of council. So I just wanted to make that clear to the community that all of these things are being looked at.
Thank you. Councillor Lappin, is the seconder?
No, thank you, Chair.
Any other speakers? Councillor Taylor.
Thanks, Chair. I just want to also reiterate what Councillor Lindbergh was saying. Both he and I and the independent members that sit on the Audit and Risk Management Committee are very particular in relation to the issues that we are addressing on behalf of this council, and I'm in no concern whatsoever in relation to the issues that we're talking about with the Governor's report this evening.
Thank you. Other speakers? Being none, I'll put the motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Okay, Councillor, keep your hands up. Councillor Labrador, Councillor Lindbergh, Councillor Zinni, Councillor Call, Councillor Cox, Councillor Stowe, Councillor Taylor and Councillor Lappin. Against or abstaining? Councillor McLinden. Thank you. The motion is carried. Councillor McLinden. Well done.
We've got 2 Lindberghs, plenty of Bronwyns.
Start calling you Bronwyn. No. Apologies, the motion was carried. Okay. Item 6 is notice of motion. There are no notices of motion. Urgent business. Councillors, are there any items of urgent business? CEO, do you have any items of urgent business?
No, Chair.
Thank you. 8 is reports of council representatives and the CEO update. I will now call on councillors to read out the report of activities since the last council meeting. Councillor Call, can you please commence?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to join with my fellow councillors in offering our sincere condolences to the family, friends and community members who have been deeply devastated by the tragic passing of Aidan Becker. It is small consolation that we were able to come together as a community and collectively mourn his passing while celebrating his life at a vigil last Friday night. Clearly, he was a young man who has touched many in our community, and his courage and heroism is an inspiration to us all. Valet Aidan Becker. On the 21st of February, I attended the newest addition to our community activity centres with the opening of Murnong Community Centre in Donnybrook. Community activity centres are an essential early infrastructure creating the heart of our new communities, incorporating many branches of libraries, or branches library, meeting spaces, MCH services, kindergartens and early learning and childcare spaces. Murnong Community Centre will continue to service the growing suburbs of Donnybrook for many years to come. Following this, I was able to attend Olivine Skate Park launch, also in Donnybrook. Delivered by Mirvac in partnership with Whittlesea City Council and supported by the State Government grant through the Growing Suburbs Fund, the new skate park provided a vibrant, inclusive space for young people to stay active, build skills and connect with their community. On the 28th of February, I joined with the Whittlesea Chinese Association in celebrating Chinese New Year at Epping Memorial Hall. It was an evening of dance, music, poetry and sharing of cultural traditions, and I very much enjoyed the hospitality of Albert and the members of the Whittlesea Chinese Association. I wanted to highlight what a wonderful day the Whittlesea Community Festival was on Sunday, the 15th of March. The weather was just spectacular and the crowd's amazing. I truly enjoyed catching up with the community, visiting the stalls, getting my show bags and merch, and connecting with people. And finally, I wanted to recognise the Mayor of Murrindindi Shire Council, Damien Gallagher, who in a recent VLGA video vlog acknowledged the contribution of the local government sector responding to the Longwood bushfires of some 9 weeks ago. And in particular, he highlighted the contribution that City of Whittlesea staff have made with over 80 days of support working within the affected area. I want to recognise the taxing work supporting the recovery efforts has on staff and thank them for their efforts. Councillor Gallagher highlighted response, response, relief and recovery in addition to the traditional 3 Rs of council being roads, rates and rubbish, and we do play an important role in that emergency management process. We know from our own experiences from the 2009 bushfires, the recovery and rebuilding phase is a long one, and our thoughts will continue to be with our neighbours as they undertake this important work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Caldwell. Councillor Zinni.
Thank you, Chair. I attended a meeting last Wednesday between developers of McKimmy's Road new housing estate in Bundoora with council officers and the residents in Botanica Park. It was an important meeting and I hope that we can all work together to get a positive outcome for the future. I also celebrated success of years of advocacy from locals and parents from the St Damian's Primary School community in Bundoora on changing the overall speed limits on Plenty Road in accordance with school zones 40 kilometres along Bundoora Square. The intersection of Plenty Road and Settlement Road would have to be the most used by pedestrians of all of Plenty Road, yet there was no regard for children crossing with parents at school times. This new limit will reinforce the need to slow down and keep our children safe, and I want to thank Colin Brooks, MP for Bundoora, for acting on this community need. My family and I also attended the community festival, and it was great to see so many children and their parents engaging with our local council and all the guardians out there as well. We had a wonderful festival. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Zinni. Councillor Lenberg.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to sincerely apologise to both Bronwyns for my faux pas tonight. It was totally unexpected, but there you go. I also attended a couple of the events that my councillor colleagues have attended, but I'd like to focus my attention on another area. I believe that these are very difficult times for many in our community. The world can feel very unsettled, filled with fear, anger and uncertainty. I know how heavy that can feel, especially when conflict seems to surround us. The war in the Middle East has deeply affected many families here in Whittlesea. For those with loved ones, friends and families caught in the turmoil, the worry and grief must be hard to bear. Please know that your pain is seen and that this community stands with you in concern and compassion. I also know that moments like these can make people feel divided or helpless, but I believe this is exactly when we must draw closer to centre ourselves in kindness and understanding. As a Buddhist, I try to hold the principle that harming anyone in word or deed goes against our true nature. Compassion is at the heart of peace. It asks us to listen before judging, to speak gently, and to care even when things feel difficult. Here in Whittlesea, we are many cultures, many faiths, many stories, yet all bound by a shared hope for safety, love and belonging. When we choose empathy over anger, love over fear, we help create the peace we wish to see. So let's keep showing up for one another. Let's speak with care, act with courage, and hold compassion at the centre of everything we do. Together we can keep Whittlesea a place of hope, healing and heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lenberg. Councillor Labrador.
Thank you, Chair. This past month has been a bit scarce, particularly due to illness. So I'd like to apologise to my fellow councillors for saying that I would attend and not attend. And yeah, I think the next month the goal will be to try and show up a little bit more. But yeah, thankfully I'm feeling a bit better. So it'd be good to see you guys around in the community. The only thing that I really did this past month was I attended the police forum here in the Great Hall, and yeah, we got to speak to local members of Parliament in State Parliament, and then also our local police, and yeah, it was really good to pick their brains and see what's actually affecting our community And I think a lot of the consensus around a lot of the statistics from the police that they were bringing and presenting to us was that crime within Whittlesea is actually coming down comparing against sort of the state average across Victoria, which is encouraging. Obviously, we have big, we have events that happen that you just can't foresee, but obviously it's important that we look at the bigger picture as well. But yeah, that police forum was insightful, and yeah, gave me and also my fellow councillors that attended a bit more information on how our community is doing and how we're tracking as a municipality. So that was encouraging. I'd just like to shout out our brave police who are continuing to do such good work in the community and keeping us safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Labrador. Councillor McLinden.
Thank you, Chair. As you alluded to, the Community Festival was a huge successful day on the Sunday. The weather was perfect. The layout this year was fantastic. So good to see so many small businesses there. I think even the CEO was excited and brought the family along, I noticed as well. So it was good to be part of it. I think I had a soft spot for the sustainability walk. Yeah, she did mention it to me. I went there, it was good, upcycling all sorts of things, and the kids were putting dirt in saucepans and mixing it all around. It was just sort of made you appreciate the little things in life. It was good. And the emergency services, a really, really good outcome there. So fantastic, and well done to all the staff that made that day a success. And congratulations. It was great to also meet Emma and Gabriel, the new Youth Council. They were certainly very excited about their next 2-year term, and I think some of them are already doing the numbers for the next mayoralty already, so it's quite funny. I do want to also, to those people who are celebrating St Patrick's Day, which is obviously not us right now, but I will be indulging in a Guinness later on tonight in honour of my late grandfather, who was from County Down, just below the Belfast border. And yes, I often do that. And I think it was his suggestion to make Patrick my middle name, so I have no choice but to have a dark ale on a day like today. And I do also want to make a public statement, just in the interest of public disclosure, and I've run this past the CEO and both the monitor in terms of a new role that I've been taking on board today, which is the CEO of the Aligned Council of Australia, which is a peak body representing 1.8 million Australians in 39 member groups. And I just wanted to declare that now, that I'll put that on my public interest of declarations and ensure that should any conflict or perceived conflict of interest, I'll be making sure that I make my role as councillor is always separate to the role of CEO of ACA. So I thought I'd put that on public record today and make sure that if anything untoward happens, please let me know, and I'll make sure that I keep the two worlds separate. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor McLinden. Councillor Lappin.
Thank you very much, Chair. So this month I visited Prace in Mernda. I spoke with Paddy and Kate there and discussed the incredible service they provide. I was really struck and impressed by how their model works there and how they ensure the students' well-being, help develop social well-being as well, and whilst also providing a strong education. They play such an integral role in helping young people who may, for whatever reason, have fallen through the cracks of mainstream schooling. Not every child has the same level of support at home or the same capacity to deal with the traditional schooling methods. Having Prace to take on these young people and help them navigate those challenges and give them the best opportunity to go forward is fantastic to see, and something I'm glad to see in Mernda. I was happy to see that Council and Prace have got a strong relationship already, and I hope to continue that and look forward to more opportunities to work together in the future. I also attended a Northern Alliance of Greenhouse Action Committee meeting where we endorsed our strategy for the next 4 years, the four strategic priorities for a renewable transition, which are committed to, were to support our vulnerable communities, to facilitate decarbonisation, there's lots of I's in these words. We're going to transition to a zero emissions transport system and also progress the greening of our supply chain, which is basically just encouraging a circular economy and the strength and more use of sustainable resources. These priorities are really geared towards what we can achieve at the council level, and we're continuing to build the capacity of the Alliance, which is sharing data and knowledge and making sure we deliver a safer environment and safer climate for our communities. On that same day, we also visited the Watermark facility, which is in Banyule City Council, and a team there then took us through how they're transitioning their old pool heating and gas to a more renewable system, and then the myriad of other ways and efficiencies that they've implemented, which make that pool more cost effective and reduce their overall council-generated emissions. So lots of ideas for pools, which was exciting. And look, just lastly, I just wanted to add as well that I also attended the vigil for Aidan Becker at the Myrna train station on Friday. The response from our community here in Myrna, but also, Whittlesea-wide, to this terrible incident has been incredible, and the amount of people who showed up and to pay respects to Aidan and pass on their condolences to his family shows how closely linked this community really is, and also how deeply they care about each other. I want to acknowledge the strength of Aidan's family who spoke at the event, and I know how hard that must have been, but also how impactful it was and how important it was. I hope that the vigil on Friday, it can be seen as a healing moment, and I believe that the care and goodwill shown towards each attendee will continue, and the community will feel more unified and closer than before, and I think that is a very special legacy for Aidan to leave behind for us. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Upton. Councillor Taylor.
Thank you, Chair. Since our last meeting, I've continued to carry out my councillor duties, albeit doing so a little bit slowly due to the surgery I had to undertake as a result of being injured performing my councillor role. My focus has been standing strong with community engagement and staying connected with the community through emails and telephone discussions, and they've been very interesting in a lot of the issues that we've been dealing with. A key part of my duties has also been to advocate in relation to the community safety issues that have been raised by the community, and to that effect I did attend the police forum, and I have to do a special shout out to Assistant Commissioner Brett Curran, but in particular Superintendent Kerry Lawson. I mean, they answered the questions, and some of those questions were quite difficult, but they answered them honestly. They came up, they were giving effective feedback in relation to some of the issues. As Councillor Labrador was saying, we have seen a reduction in drug offences within the city of Whittlesea, but at the same time we've seen a dramatic increase in other offences as well within our municipality. And I think they are the issues, but notwithstanding that, they answered those questions fairly effectively. They addressed a lot of the issues that my community were asking me and I asked on their behalf. I think on that night I asked about 6 questions, and the police were very engaging and gave significant feedback that enabled me to go back to my community and tell them the feedback that we received. I'd also want to say that I attended with a number of councillors and the Mayor and the CEO on Friday evening to the candlelight vigil for Aidan. I'll make no further comment because my fellow councillors have already mentioned that, other than to say that the law defines what a good Samaritan is quite succinctly, and from the circumstances that I've heard, I am in no doubt that Aidan Becker was a good Samaritan. I also attended today the Whittlesea Mental Health and Wellbeing opening day. What a fantastic event. Significantly underestimated the significant experiences that the number of people that have, 60, working at that establishment, and how that assists our community within the city of Whittlesea. I'd also attended with the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor and Councillor Lindbergh, the Peter Hopper Reserve Stage 1 opening. Fantastic event again in relation to that particular opening. I look forward to Stage 2 coming up and commencing shortly. The Mayor and I also attended the Terang 2006 number 3 dance competition at the Prac. That was a terrific night of young people coming up and showing their skills and talents in relation to dance. I also attended the Yarra Plenty Regional Library Audit and Risk Management Committee and our Council's Audit and Risk Management Committee, which had some discussion about that tonight. And I also attended with a lot of other councillors, the 2-day workshop that we undertook as part of our budgetary discussions within council earlier last month. I have to say that was very beneficial, and some of the issues, and I want to especially shout out to the staff that were involved in relation to the formation of the preliminary budget issues that we're now discussing and entering into. It was extremely beneficial, the work that they did, in order to us to proceed further with our budget discussions. That's it, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Councillor Stowe.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I also attended the vigil on Friday night at Mernda for Aidan Becker, and it was a very solemn occasion, and I send my condolences and thoughts to the family. It was moving. I also attended the police forum with Councillor Taylor and Councillor Labrador, and I can vouch for Councillor Taylor getting up and down like a yo-yo, asking all of those questions, which was great to hear him asking those questions. Over the past month, I spent time in my community speaking directly to residents in Donnybrook and Whittlesea. In Donnybrook, I've met with 5 different groups, and the main issues that are coming through are very consistent. Safety at the train station is a concern, as well as parking. Donnybrook Road remains a major issue, and there is also a call for more crossing supervisors at the Donnybrook Primary School. In Whittlesea, the key issues are a little different. The dam is still an issue that's ongoing, and they're asking me questions about the dam and the road use as a result of the dam being built. Soil dumping continues to be an issue, illegal soil dumping, and it's a growing concern around a number of developments in Whittlesea itself, developments that the locals are concerned about in aged care and childcare facilities. I also attended the turning of the sod at Acclaim Estate in Donnybrook, which should help with the progress of development around Donnybrook Road. So that was a really great event, well attended, and really looking forward to that development. It'll help with the circulation of traffic around Donnybrook. I also attended the VLGA Incivility Conference, thanks to, unfortunately, Councillor McClendon being unwell. It was a really worthy discussion about incivility and some alarming statistics. Over 80% of councillors have experienced threatening or intimidating behaviour. Also of concern is that mostly women are experiencing incivility and feel bullied and intimidated. And also, I also attended the VLGA International Women's Day event, and again, they discussed the behavioural concerns for women. At the last council elections, there was 78 women, first-time councillors, who didn't stand again because of the behaviour, the intimidation and bullying, and they felt that they couldn't stand again. We need 378 councillors, women councillors, to get to 50% in the next election. So VLGA and indeed we've had the letter from Nick Stakos about improving the situation for women. But they talked about some of the things, recognising at the International Women's Day event, recognising the additional pressures faced by women, and care was one of the issues which surprised me that they actually talked about it. They talked about different forms of care. I care for my daughter with disabilities, but also as a lot of other people, and women particularly take the burden of caring, and it makes it difficult to get to the council table. And we do need women at the council table. We need more of us, as much as I love all the men here. But it is important that we have more women. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Stowe. In my update since the last meeting, we've had the internal session and budget process, which is well attended by many councillors and was a constructive forum. The Murnong Community Centre opening and the Olive Island Skate Park, which are also been mentioned by the Deputy Mayor, were attended by me and participated with the local Member of Parliament. The Northern Council Alliance held its first meeting for 2026 and has considered its advocacy program and working on a strategy leading up into the state election. The Boulevard Avenue Thomastown technically sod turn was conducted with the federal member for Scullin, Andrew Giles. And we had the Chinese New Year attendance, again mentioned by the Deputy Mayor already. I attended the opening of the Planet Fitness Centre at Epping, near the old Bunnings site. We had several briefings of local MPs and questions, I suppose, being raised in terms of where support may or may not lie from both the opposition and also government MPs. And we have a number of those also coming up in the future of all parties, and clearly when the candidates are known, we'll obviously deal with more of those as well. Councillor Taylor has already referred to the Terang Festival of the Uday Sports and Arts, which is held at Prac, a very successful event. The Municipal Association Victoria, of which I'm the delegate, held its launch of the Future is Local, which is their 6-point advocacy program, and we will get a copy of the booklet circulated to all councillors so you can read that. I attended the Northern Business Achievement Awards with Councillor Stowe and Councillor Lindbergh. Coffee with Council in my own ward, Gamburg-Galinge, was very popular, I'm happy to say, and plenty of questions, and the cafe was very full up in the Rattown Estate, so it was great. The Peter Hopper Lake, we attended that, and it was great seeing Peter Hopper as the former Shire engineer at 92 years of age. He's not doing too bad. And on last Saturday, I attended the Casa de Brizio 44th anniversary, opened in 1982, and they had to remind me that I was actually in attendance as a Shire councillor in those days by the then Premier Thompson before the change of government the following year, I think. But again, a great community organisation, and Fernando Cardinale is the president and has been for 25 years and does a fantastic job in the community, and they're looking at challenges ahead in terms of youthful generation, but it is a great working relationship because they provide great facilities in terms of the soccer pitches and the basketball stadium. Community festival's already been talked about, and today I was attending a department-led citizenship ceremony over in Lower Plenty with 250 conferees, and I was the presiding officer. It was great. So that was my report for the period. I now turn to 8.2, the CEO's update to council and members of the public.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail on a number of the matters that have already been raised. So the Peter Hopper Lake in Mill Park is set to welcome back residents and wildlife following the completion of the multi-million-dollar revitalisation project. Council commenced the multi-stage project back in early 2024, and it involved removing more than 10,000 cubic metres of silt and other pollutants from the lake bed, draining the lake, and then installing a range of water filtering equipment. It's been an enormous undertaking to return the lake to good health, and I thank the council staff that have been involved in that project for their hard work on seeing it through. I'd also like to thank the Friends of the Peter Hopper Lake Group, and of course federal member Andrew Giles for his financial support. City of Whittlesea contributed $3 million towards the project, and the Australian Government provided $2 million from its Urban Rivers and Catchment Program. As the Mayor said, last month we broke ground on the major project to upgrade the shopping strip at the Boulevard in Thomastown. The project will support local businesses by improving the precinct's safety and accessibility. The project is part of our town centre revitalisation program, which in recent years has delivered upgrades to Tramuse Street shopping precinct in Laylaw, Alexandra Avenue shopping precinct in Thomastown, and the Gorge Road shopping precinct in South Morang. The upgrade's going to deliver wider footpaths, larger trading areas, a shared cycle and pedestrian path, new crossings, upgraded intersections, additional car spaces, new street furnishings, landscaping and updated drainage. Council's $1.3 million contribution is supported by $2.8 million from the Thriving Suburbs program and $100,000 from the local government grant from the Transport Accident Commission. This month we also started work on building a new roundabout at the intersection of Everton Drive and Sissinghurst Parade in Mernda. This project will provide drivers, cyclists and pedestrians with safe and efficient access to the regional sports precinct, which is under construction. In addition to the roundabout, there will also be a shared cycling and pedestrian path from Sissinghurst Parade to Stourhead Avenue, raised pedestrian crossings, upgraded street lighting and upgraded stormwater drainage. And that project is being funded from the Victorian Government's Growth Areas Infrastructure Contribution Program. And finally, as Councillor Colwell mentioned, the Olivine Skate Park. The young and young at heart have a new place to have fun and socialise following the opening of the skate park at Donnybrook late last month. The skate park features ramps, rails, quarter pipes, suitable for skaters of all ages and abilities, and was built with developer Mirvac and will be managed by the City of Whittlesea. And that project continues a partnership that we've delivered in the Olivine Recreation Reserve with community infrastructure such as sports ovals, cricket nets, netball and futsal courts, a dog park, playground and community pavilion. And the skate park was supported by a $300,000 contribution from the Victorian Government's Growing Suburb Fund. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig. I'd note all of the verbal reports will be documented within the minutes. Item 9 of the agenda was a letter tabled, was received from the Minister of Local Government in relation to gender equality, and that is being tabled for information as referred to by Councillor Stowe. We now move to item 10, which is confidential business. Councillors, I require a motion to close the meeting to the public under section 66(2)(a) of the Local Government Act 2020 for the consideration of a confidential item. Move Councillor Labrador, seconder Councillor Caldwell. I will put that to and that's the recommendation. You're moving the recommendation?
Yes, Chair, I'll move the
Thank you.
recommendation.
And I'll put that to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Thank you. It's unanimous. We will allow a couple of minutes for closing of the meeting and, closing of the public component and come back in 5 minutes, 7:41.